Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to bring you an update on day 3 of the league, and this one is a very exciting one. So from you probably saw in a title, I did acquire my first mirror, and this one didn't really feel, let's say, ethical. So let me just show you the clip. How did I got it? So in case you don't know, I am doing logbook right now, and I did just drop a Mage Blood, which is the new belt that basically enables your flask to be constantly applied to you, so you don't have to use them, and also you can have just increased effectiveness on them and so on. So this flask is really expensive right now, and at the moment when I dropped it, there was only 2 of them on the trade, and both of them were posted for 95 exalts. So I posted mine also for 95 exalt, and someone asked me if I would take a mirror for it. And mirror was actually also 95 exalt at that point, so I decided why not, and I got a mirror for it. And the reason why I am not using Mage Blood for my build, I was explaining it multiple times on my stream, I just don't really like it for this particular build, especially because I am using mana and life flask, so it would only apply to 3 of them. I could have like 1 flask with a mod reduce mana cost of skills and increase its effectiveness, so I don't really even need mana flask, but that's another mod lost. Also, I am Pathfinder right now, so I already pretty much can have all of my flask applied to me all the time, so I don't really need the belt. There's just so many issues with it, I just don't believe it is that nice. And also eventually I also want to use Forbidden Taste, which means just another flask slot lost, maybe even Dying Sun. So there's just a lot of issues with it, and I would just prefer to have a mirror, which is just gaining on value. Also, another question is why I don't just sell the mirror and upgrade my gear and just have an amazing character. And well, there's few reasons, but the main reason is I just simply don't want to ruin the league start for myself. I had multiple people in the past telling me that they just dropped like something amazing like Headhunter Mirror, and they sold it, they geared up their character, and then they were like, well, now what? And they just stopped playing the game because they already finished what they wanted to do. So I just want to progress my character naturally, so in case you are watching and you are like comparing your progress to mine, you're not gonna feel like cheated that I just suddenly became a godly character. So it's also fun when I am talking to people in my chat during the stream, like I'm asking people, have you crafted your bow yet? Do you have your this thing 6 thing already? And they ask me the same things and so on. So it's pretty fun to just progress naturally. So I'm just gonna keep it. Eventually I will probably farm like 1 or 2 more mirrors, and then I will start thinking about my second character, and then I might just sell it to just get some better items for it. And I don't really know what I'm gonna play after this. I will have to think about it. Okay, so let's talk about the progression on my gear. So not that much stuff has changed in terms of just gear over here. I did craft my bow. This is basically a GG bow. You can get better ones, but it would be much more expensive. So if you were wondering how to craft this bow, I have a guide that I released before the league start, and I am explaining how to craft it over there. But the main thing I didn't realize is that this, well, not really realize, I just forgot that this bow doesn't give you +2 to bow gems anymore. It gives you +2 to socketed support gems, which basically mean for it to apply to your toxic rain, you need to have an empower. And empower currently is very expensive. When I wanted to buy one, there was only one level 4 for 15 exalts, and there was not a single level 3. So I just bought level 1, which actually was even still increase of DPS when I replaced my old bow, and then I just leveled it up to level 2, and I'm just gonna level it up to level 3, and then maybe corrupt it for level 4. Another thing I didn't realize is that they nerfed not only the craft chaos damage over time multi, it no longer gives you 35%, now it is 20, but they also nerfed just the base damage over time multi. So they said two-handed should have 45%, but for some reason they consider both as a one-handed weapons, so it actually can roll only up to 26%. So we overall lost 25% damage over time multi from a previous league, which is actually a very big nerf. We did get some of it back, like on a glass quiver and so on, but still that's a lot of power gone from this bow. In terms of other items, I did replace my archery step with boots with onslaught, and that's simply because now I am a Pathfinder. So that's everything in terms of the gear. I didn't replace anything here. So let's talk about the tree. So I did spec into Pathfinder because I just felt like it's just the time for it. I already have gear for it again. I have onslaught, so I don't need to be raider. I have my spell suppression capped from my tree, so I don't need spell suppression from the raider. And frenzy charges you can get either from charge on kill or blood rage, but obviously it's not as powerful as raider, and you can't get it while you are bossing. But I am not planning to boss with this character. And I also got myself a new class rule setup finally. So I got one with 3 mods: Touch of Cruelty, Unholy Grace, and Wicked Pole. Here I have Eternal Suffering as Student of Decay. So this one is applying up to 5 Wither stacks. Here I have just some Chaos Res, Wicked Pole, and another one with Chaos Res. And I'm still using Conqueror Efficiency and just some jewels with life and damage multi. And the reason why I also swapped Pathfinder is because I am now farming Simulacrums finally, and I just believe Pathfinder is so much better on Simulacrums, especially because you can just use your mana flask pretty much all the time. So as you can see here, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times because I ran out of flask, and I already can press a 7th time, so you can just spam it all the time. And the reason why it is so nice is not only just so you can just have a nice mana recovery, but also because of the flask mastery. Remove a random element and ailment when you use a mana flask. So this means if you are just constantly pressing your mana flask, you are removing your ailments, and you no longer need Master Alchemist, which used to give you a removal of ailments, like just all of ailments when you use any flask, which is still technically better, and I would like to have it. But Master Surgeon is just so good because now we have enchants used when charges reach full, and I have it on all 3 of them. And this gives 6% recovered life when you use a flask. So when I am just mapping, maybe I can actually show it to you. Let's go to Blood Aqueducts. The charges are just constantly used on their own. So I'm just gonna kill some stuff, and look at them, they are just constantly being pressed, and every time they are pressed I just recover 6% life, and there's 3 of them, so 18%. So that's actually very amazing. When I'm doing Simulacrums and I am getting hit, my life is just instantly being recovered to full. It is really, really nice. So the Raider doesn't provide you any of this, and also again you just have your flask being applied to you all the time. And also the instant life flask still feels really nice, especially with just increased effectiveness of your flasks. Life flask recovers a lot of life when you are a Pathfinder. And it also provides the immunity to bleeding, which means I can actually reroll this flask, I just haven't done it yet. Also I still need to roll my other flasks, because again here I just have a mana cost of scarce. I don't really know what I want on my mana flask yet, because we removed a lot of mods from the mana and life flask. I used to have the reduce effect of curses in the previous leagues, but now you can't get it here, so I have to have it on somewhere else. So I am using increase attack speed, reduce effect of curses, which thanks to my ascendancy and just some flask effectiveness and so on, is basically giving me curse immunity. And here I just have increased evasion. So I still don't have tier 1, like a rolling flask. This league is actually really hard because of new tiers of flask, so I still haven't done that. And here I am missing increased effect of flask. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of gear and what I'm doing with my character. Now let's talk about the strategies and how I made the currency, because, well, obviously I still didn't sell my mirror. So yesterday I did a little bit of trading at the beginning, and then I was doing the logbooks. And I would say logbooks are actually very nice if you do like a very early league start strategies like highs, blighted mouse, and so on. The logbooks are a very good strategy to move on to as like a next step. If you know what you are doing, you can make a lot of money from them. You can buy them for like 20 to 40 C, and the profit from them is usually 100 C plus. And especially if you know what you're doing, you can make even more. If you're wondering how the logbooks work, I did a test of 100 logbooks during my previous league. It was like 3 weeks ago, so you can watch that, and I am explaining Expedition a little bit over there. Not like in depth, but you will at least get an idea how to do them. And after I finished just farming the logbooks, I was trading a lot. I sold like all of my stuff for like 1,000, maybe 2,000 chaos. Again, I crafted my PoE, I got my cluster jewels and so on, and I finally started farming simulacrums. So in case you are actually wondering how simulacrums are going for me, let me just show you some gameplay. So with current gear, I can do 20 waves of simulacrum, but they are not really easy. And also I do have performance issues. I have been figuring out how to help with it, and it's not as bad anymore, but it's still pretty bad. But again, I can do like 20 waves. 15 waves are going very easy, like 16, 17, 18, 90. I would say like 1 in 3, 1 in 2 times I will die. And again, you can see how my life is just jumping all over the place thanks to the Pathfinder Ascendancy. So yeah, I can do them like fairly easily, but from time to time I still am dying, and wave 20 is usually very hard, and I think I actually completed only like 1 or 2 of them. So, and I did complete also 1 level 21, so there's still a few upgrades I want to get. First of all, I want to get the chaos resist cap, because there's a lot of monsters that do deal chaos damage in simulacrums, and also there is a mod that you can get on a wave that makes a monster deal chaos damage as extra from their physical damage. So when there is this mod, I'm basically dying all the time because I just have like, I believe like 5% chaos res, so I would love to have the cap. On top of that, I do want to use Forbidden Taste flask, which basically what it does is it's even improved version of the Pathfinder mod. So basically when you have enchant used when you take savage hit, it's gonna be used every single time you take at least 15% of your life from one hit, and it's gonna recover 100% of your life. But the downside is you take 25% of your maximum life as chaos damage. So to counter that, you basically need to have chaos res cap. It's still gonna deal you quite a lot of damage, but it's manageable at that point. So I would want to probably replace my either Quartz Flask or Stibnite Flask with Forbidden Taste, and I believe this would be a big survivability bonus. The next things that I just need are, well, first of all, Empower level 4, just for some more damage. I still need Toxic Rain level 21, maybe even go for Phantasmal, because I don't really have increased projectiles right now. I don't have my Helmet enchant for Toxic Rain, which is also what I want to go for eventually. I still need Maloney Mechanism to be able to level up more gems, because eventually I will be leveling up like 20-25 Empowers, Enlightens, or maybe Awakened gems with this build, which is what this build is basically made for, which is why I am not using things like Caustic Arrow and so on, and I actually forgot to show that, so I am leveling for now just a lot of toxic rains just everywhere. I am no longer using Caustic Arrow, I'm not using the totem setup, just to increase my profit. I'm still using Dash, Second Winging Arrow, and my Aura, so Skitterbot, Grades, Malevolence. I'm using Steel Skin because it's just nice for survivability, but that's pretty much it. So no Blood Rage, because I think this mod 2% chance to gain any charge is actually good enough to most of the time sustain your charges. They won't be up 100% of the time, but I think it is good enough. So I think that's it in terms of the upgrade. Also, again, obviously, if I gain some more levels, I will probably go for the second cluster jewel setup, but that's in the future. And I think I will be able to maybe get some items with spell suppression on them as a mod, and this way I will be able to drop my quartz flask and again replace it with Forbidden Taste probably, maybe even drop Steep Knight and replace it with Dying Sun for even more projectiles. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. So I think that's it. Next few days are probably just gonna be farming Simulacrums all day, every day, just leveling gems, gaining some experience and getting some nice loot, and eventually make few mirrors and then make a second build. So thanks for watching and see you next time, and see you on my stream.